Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is BNHA Second Generation Chapter 21, and this one is titled Sadness. I'm sorry, so I was going to spend time with Kiki tonight. What about tomorrow night? Ginny asked apologetically to Soshi, scowling when Kiru pumped her fist with victory. Yeah, that should be okay. I'll check with Dad, and I'll text you. He replied down the phone, biting back the disappointment in his voice. Okay, cool, Jenny said. I'm gonna go now, but text me, yeah? Okay, bye, Soshi replied softly, hanging up before Ginny could say anything else. He's really sweet, Ginny said. He's such a soft boy. I don't know how you deal with those two. They're polar opposites, Kiru said sassily. You need someone level-headed and strong. Like Condor? Ginny replied with a dreamy sigh. I was thinking me, but okay, Kiru thought, gazing longingly at her friend for a second. Back at home, Deku had just arrived and had had his shower. I might see if Kiru wants to go to the store and get some food with me. Maybe we could cook in the kitchen like we used to when she was little, he thought, scrubbing the water from his hair with the towel as he walked down the hall to her room. Pausing at her door, he listened to hear if she was there, but all was silent on the other side, so he knocked gently. Kiru? He asked. Are you there? There was no reply. Gingerly he tried the doorknob, and it turned, so he cracked the door open and looked in. The room was dark, and his heart sank as he walked in and flicked the lights on. No Kiru. Dejectedly he turned and switched the lights off, and then closed the door again, and walked down to the kitchen to where his wife was doing something. Hey honey, he greeted softly, wrapping his strong arms around her from behind and kissing her just behind the ear. What are you making? Oh, Kiru has a festival thing coming up and they have to make a hat for some kind of event, she said, gluing some bright flowers onto the side of a red hat. Kiru asked me if I could do it because she said she didn't know how to make it. Festival? Deku asked. I didn't know anything about a festival. Are parents allowed to come? Yeah, I'm going, Mrs. Midoriya replied. Kiru mentioned it before, but you said you might be away then. Oh, the gentle hero said sadly. I get the feeling that Kiru is avoiding me. I went to her room just now and she's not there, but I could have sworn I heard her when I came home. She left to go to Ginny's, Mrs. Midoriya replied, still detailing the hat. I don't know why, but I feel like Kiru hates me now, Deku whispered, his hand slipping from his wife's waist as he hung his head and pressed it to the back of her neck. I really want to mend the relationship, but I don't know how. I think, Mrs. Midoriya started, turning to face her husband and cupping his cheeks in her hand so she could lift his head and look at him, that you need to be around for Kiru a little bit more. I know, Deku said with a sigh, but will she give me a chance to show her? You know what they say, actions speak louder than words, she said sweetly, stroking her despondent husband's freckled cheek. He nodded gently and leaned in to give her a little peck on the lips. Thank you. You're right. I'll be a better dad, a more present dad, he said, feeling more confident as his words spilled out. I know you can do it. You always go plus ultra on everything, she said encouragingly with a warm smile. He nodded and beamed. Go beyond, he said with a smile, his eyes shifting from his wife across to the hat sitting on the bench. It was now 5 hours later, and Kiru had just left Ginny's house and was heading home, feeling much better about spending some quality time with her friend. I wonder if Mum finished the hat, she thought as she reached her front door and unlocked it with her key. Oh, everyone's asleep. Gingerly she crept in and shut the door behind her. I'll check the kitchen, see if the hat's there. Tiptoeing down the hall, she entered the kitchen and looked around in the dark. Unable to see anything on the benches there, she thought maybe her mum had put it in her room. She spun to leave and smacked straight into a very large figure in the doorway, gasping with surprise as she stumbled backwards. Kiru, I'm sorry, her dad said hurriedly. I thought you heard me coming up behind you. No, she snapped, clutching her chest where her heart was beating frantically. Oh, he said softly. I'm sorry again. It's fine, whatever, she mumbled, stepping to the side to go past him. Oh, here, he said softly, holding out the hat to Kiru. I helped. Thanks, she muttered, grabbing the hat from his outstretched hand and pushing past him to go to her room. Deku went to say something else, but instead just closed his mouth and just watched her shadowy figure disappear down the blackened hall. I was hoping to make her happy by telling her that I helped with her hat, but I guess I need to do more than that, he thought as he turned slowly and followed behind her, heading to his shared room with his wife. Kiru sped down the hallway and quickly got into her room, and then placed the hat on her desk and fell face first into bed. Her poor heart was aching. She had felt her dad's sadness when she pushed past him, and felt guilty that she hadn't acknowledged how he had helped with the hat, but the anger in her screamed something different. He can't just stick a frickin' flower on a hat and expect me to fall at his feet and accept him back like that. That's a poor effort. He's going to have to work harder than that to make up for abandoning me, she thought as she rolled over and scowled up at the ceiling. If he really wants to mend things between us, he's going to have to go plus ultra like he does for everyone else except me. Tears welled in her eyes, and she rolled her head to the side to look at the hat in the dark. It looked awesome, and her heart twinged in her chest. "Thanks, Dad," she whispered in a soft, broken voice, a single tear sliding down her cheek and smearing the small eyeliner drawn cross under her eye. And there ends chapter 21. Stay tuned for chapter 22 tomorrow.